And here we go, to story or not to story. Recently, one of my clients, she had her first presentation at a service organization. And if you're not familiar with what a service organization is, that's like a Rotary, a Kiwanis, that type of thing. It's a service organization that goes out and helps the community. Well, she went to the service organization. This is her first presentation. And she told me, Maurice, I had no tip. I had no technique. I had no data to really share with them. All I did was I shared my experience when I was in the jungle in Africa. And here's the crazy thing. She was invited back again. And this is my question to you. Why? Why was she invited back again? She had no point. There was no takeaways. There's no call to action. Just a simple story of survival in the heart of Africa. And that's my point. Why? Well, you see, the reason being is that by sharing a story, she was illustrating her point of survival. And let me tell you something. In the world that we live in, with Periscope or not Periscope, guess what? We live in a very tough world, in particular when it comes to our business. So by sharing her story of survival, she shared a very poignant story about how to survive the jungles. And what people did in their minds, in their imagination, they equated it to their business. You know, as the business philosopher Jim Rohn once said, for every point, we should have a story. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. For me, I have two story files, one on my computer and one on my file cabinet. As I find stories online, I just quickly copy the URL and paste it into a document in my computer file. If I come across a story in a newspaper or magazine, you better believe it, I tear it out and I put it in this file. What do I do next? Well, what I do is then I craft my next presentation. I craft out the content, the data, the statistics, all what you have. And then what I do is then I go to my story file and then I find a story that will match the data. Better yet, that will illustrate. Well, you know what? Let me really put the point to this. That will support the data. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to be story collectors. And then slowly but surely add stories to your presentations. Why? To give it life, to make it relatable, so that people walk in your shoes when you tell the story. You know, I love what Ben Horowitz once wrote. He says this, and I quote, I would like to see CEOs tell more stories. Why? Because employees cannot walk in data, but yet they could walk in story. So this is what I'd like you to do, my Periscope family. I would like you to reach down deep and find the stories that best illustrate, better yet, that best support your points, your data, the information you want to share with your organization or the people that you're speaking with. Hey, this is Maurice Domino. I want to thank you so much for joining us here. Don't forget to send those hearts and to forward this message. Hey, look, if you missed this message, definitely go to my Facebook profile, Maurice Domino, Facebook.com, well, rather, Facebook.com/Maurice Domino, and we will see you in the Periscope sphere. Thank you so much for joining me. Ciao.